All right, in this next video, we're going to look at the same question that we looked at in the previous video of how do our sales look? We're just going to consider creating a report in a couple of different ways. So rather than creating a report from scratch, we're actually going to jump right into the report we initially created, our sales by year report. And we're going to use this as a basis. So I'm going to jump in here and click edit and think about a couple of different ways that I might want to show this data. So in the first video, we showed how to create a summary report, which is creating a report and adding groupings to it. And then we filtered the report. We grouped it by close date and grouped the close date to show the close date by year. We added a chart, and then we also saved the report. What I want to do is kind of build on that in this video. So what I'm going to start is rather than looking at this data and looking at our sales by year, I'm actually going to change this to group the dates by calendar month. For example, this could be a very functional report for us to be able to see monthly trends rather than annual trends. You might be looking at it with a closer magnifying glass and want to be able to see what you're closing on a monthly basis in comparison. Matter of fact, I like this a whole lot. So I'm actually going to click Save As, and I'm going to save a new copy of this. I'm going to call this year-to-date sales by month. And I'm going to go ahead and just save this again in my private reports folder and click Save. And I can run this to get a full view of really what this report looks at, what it looks like. From here, we can kind of get a sense of what sort of data we're trending on a monthly basis. One of the other nice features of Salesforce with the report charting is the ability to show sales month by month as a cumulative factor rather than on an individualized basis. We're using a column chart right now, but if we wanted to, we could actually click on the line chart here. And if we scroll down, we can see the month by month values all the same, but we can also check this cumulative box, which allows us to see this data in a cumulative sense. So we can see month over month how we're actually adding to our total. We've been able to show the data month by month. We can show it in a cumulative sense there. Another way to group this data might not be from a month by month standpoint, but rather I want to see a comparison from one of my sales people to the next. If I wanted to do that, I'd actually go back into edit, and what I would need to do is change the groupings. Rather than grouping by when the opportunity closed, I won't want to group on the owner of the opportunity. So if I select the ownership here, you can see that I have a new grouping, and I can add multiple groupings, but for the time being, I'm going to remove the close date. I'm actually going to bring it down here into the column because I find it to be very valuable information. So I do want to keep it in the report, but I'd rather show, rep to rep comparison. And I'm actually going to change the chart here so that I can get a good sense. I'm going to use a donut chart because I only have 2 sales reps. And what I want to see is I'm going to deselect combine smaller groups into one another. I'm going to deselect the combine small groups into others because I don't want to, by any chance, combine multiple sales reps results into one category. But now that I have this, I can now click run and get a really good sense of all the sales that I closed this year. How much are each of my sales reps closing? And I actually want to show the values here so I can get a good quick view of this. And of course, I could drill down into the report data and identify what specific opportunities each of my reps have closed. But this is going to give me a very quick sense of the total sales that we have this year. How much is sales rep A compared to sales rep B contributing? Now, I like this report a lot, so I'm actually going to save another version of this. I'm going to click on Save As, and I'm going to call this just year-to-date sales. I'm going to remove the sales by month. I'm going to call this year-to-date sales by rep. And get everything tidied up here and go ahead and click Save. So now I've created quite a few reports here. I think the next thing I want to show is kind of how to bring these reports together on a dashboard. So if I were to click on the Reports tab, I can actually see the most recent reports that I've looked at. So we've created our sales by year report, our year-to-date sales by month, as well as our year-to-date sales by rep. Again, sales by year, this is the report that we created in the previous video. But what I'm going to do is I want to add some of these reports to a dashboard so that I can view them all together. And what I'm going to do that, I'm just going to click on the Dashboards tab and click on new dashboard here. First thing I'll do is give it a name. I'm going to call this my sales dashboard. I'm going to call this my sales and marketing dashboard because we are eventually going to be backing into marketing. We're actually going to get there pretty quick, but for now I'm just going to call this the sales and marketing dashboard. Give it a quick description. And again, I'll save this just in my private dashboards folder for now. If you were doing this in your live org, you'd probably want to figure out the right folder to save it in. We'll definitely address that here in a later video, but for now, I'm just going to create this dashboard. Once I click create, I have the ability to add components, which are reports in my dashboard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click add component, and I can search for them. But because I just looked at these reports, they're at the top of my recent list here. The first thing I'm going to do is add my year-to-date sales by month report. I'm going to click it and click select. And I have a lot of different options here. Without getting into too much, I'm just going to use the chart that I defined on the report itself and click add. And then I'm also going to add my year-to-date sales by rep report so I can get a sense of all of the sales that we've closed, who's closed them, rep by rep. And one of the things I like to do here, I'm actually not going to use the chart settings. I'm going to select the same donut chart, but rather than the shortened number, I'm going to use the full number, and I'm going to deselect combining small groups into others and click add. And I'm going to put these next to each other. And once I'm ready, once this looks good to me, I'm actually going to go ahead and click save and done. And I may need to refresh my report. Okay, no, I don't. I have both of my reports that I want on my sales and marketing dashboard. So I'm looking good here. We're going to continue to add to this dashboard in some other videos. Before we move on to the next question, I wanted to show you a couple other variations and things we can do with reporting regarding how our sales look and how we can present that to our sales and other department leadership within our company.